A chaotic scene inside the Costco store in West Fargo this morning after a report of a man who possibly had a gun. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Stanwood. We're following breaking news this noon. West Fargo police surrounded Costco after a possible threat was made this morning. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson is live from the store. Nicole, what can you tell us?
Christine, everything is back to normal now. People are shopping inside and employees have been let back into the store. But about an hour ago, it was a completely different story. When I pulled up, there were police officers setting up a perimeter outside. Some of them had their guns drawn. Police say a man was making some sort of threats inside. He's not a Costco employee. Now, I spoke with a woman who was inside during the time. She said she was inside shopping when police started escorting people out and told her there was a report of a possible shooter. Everyone was then evacuated through a side door.
Seeing this in this part of the country and with what's going on in Florida and stuff, it kind of makes you aware of stuff.
On edge a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Hoping there's nobody in there with weapons.
Now, we're told it started this morning after the man inside was apparently fired from Manpower in South Fargo and then was out driving around. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Great. Thank you so much, Nicole. We want to remind people that the incident with Manpower and the Costco situation is confirmed by police that they are related. Manpower is located at 300 Southwest 45th Street in Fargo. And West Fargo police were responding to Costco. Fargo police were then questioning people at Manpower. And a lot of people on the way to work today were slowed or stopped on a bad stretch of I-94 in Moorhead. A 3-vehicle crash on the westbound ramp onto the interstate around 8 a.m. backed up traffic. Not only did it happen during the morning rush, but it was also in the area that's part of a detour while 8th Street is closed. No word yet on any injuries. Fargo police caught up with 4 suspected car prowlers early today after someone spotted suspicious activity in their neighborhood. 4 juveniles were detained in the 2600 block of 15th Street South around 3 a.m., then released to their parents. Police say at least 2 cars were involved, and they are trying to figure out if others were broken into. New developments in the Egypt air crash. One of the 2 black boxes has been recovered from the wreckage of the plane in the Mediterranean Sea. Investigators say the cockpit voice recorder was retrieved early today, could yield vital clues about the cause of last month's disaster. An autopsy is scheduled today on the 2-year-old boy who was killed by an alligator at a Walt Disney World resort in Orlando. The body of Lane Graves was recovered yesterday, just 16 hours after he was snatched by the gator at one of the resort's beaches. Now, a Disney spokesperson says the park is reviewing signs posted in the area which say no swimming, but do not warn of alligators. It's a little cloudy out right now, so can we expect to see some storms in our forecast? Well, no clouds yet, mostly sunshine. Let's check in with meteorologist Robert Hahn. Robert?
Lots of sunshine continues across the area, and we're going to see some mostly sunny skies as we head through the day today, and a warmer day than yesterday. Later tonight, though, that risk for storms starts to come back into the area. Right now, temperatures in the 60s and the 70s. Later on today, we're going to warm it up into the 70s and some 80s. Winds, they're going to be gusty today, primarily out of the south and southeast, 10 to 20 miles per hour, with some gusts up to 30 miles per hour. And we're seeing some of those stronger gusts over in Devil's Lake, as well as in Jamestown. Cloud cover, well, there's hardly any out there. A few more clouds off towards the east. That's why we've got some cooler temperatures there, but we'll see some sunny skies throughout the area as we head through much of the rest of the afternoon and into this evening. On the radar, not a whole lot going on right now, but later tonight and into tomorrow morning, that chance for some showers and some storms. Some of those could be on the strong side. We'll show you who has the best chance here coming up in just a few minutes. Mid-80s the next couple of days, with a few chances for storms, more storm chances on the rest of the 7-day forecast. And we'll detail that in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Robert. Also new at noon, President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden are on the way to Florida today, 4 days after the worst mass shooting in American history. The president will meet with survivors and families of victims of Sunday's shooting. President Obama will also spend time talking to first responders and medical professionals. 49 people were killed during the attack at an Orlando nightclub early Sunday morning. 53 people were wounded and 30 of the survivors remain hospitalized. Senate Democrats ended a nearly 14-hour filibuster early this morning after Republican Party leaders reportedly agreed to allow votes on two proposed gun control measures. Connecticut Democrat Chris Murphy spearheaded the effort following Sunday's shootings in Orlando. He says votes would be held on whether to ban people on the government's terrorist watch list from obtaining gun licenses and whether to expand background checks to gun shows and internet sales. A judge set bail on $1 million for a man accused of attacking a Pembina County deputy. 26-year-old Clifford Monteith is charged with attempted murder in connection with the assault earlier this month. Police reports say a Pembina County deputy pulled over a vehicle that Monteith was in just before the alleged attack occurred. It happened on Highway 18 in Nishi, North Dakota. During the assault, the deputy shot Monteith 3 times. A Fargo man has changed his plea in a brutal assault on a woman. Holden Invick now faces sentencing for sexual imposition and aggravated assault. The victim says he tried to sexually assault her and poured chemicals down her face and throat. Invick remains in the Cass County Jail until his sentencing in September. Elder abuse is a growing problem, and experts are urging people who see something suspicious to report it to authorities. State representatives and others entrusted with protecting the elderly came together for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Moorhead yesterday. Speakers say physical, emotional, and financial abuse of the elderly is not uncommon, even within families. Resources to spot problems and how to report it can be found by looking for this story on valleynewslive.com. And in today's Consumer Alert, Home Depot is accusing Visa and MasterCard of using security measures prone to fraud. In a new federal lawsuit filed this week, the home improvement giant says the so-called chip technology is putting retailers at risk of hacking attacks. The computer chip encrypts account information, and it's supposed to make it harder for the cyber thieves to access customer information. But Home Depot says punching in a PIN number will be a lot more effective. Some new golf tee times just opened up in Fargo. Just ahead, what's new at El Zagel. But next, weather to plan your day.